Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Sally grills Billy about Aristotle Dumas. Lily gives Devin a heads up and Phyllis and Sharon compare notes. Sharon and Phyllis sit on Crimson Light's patio together. They compare notes on how good it felt to shower and put on clean clothes. They go over how relieved their kids were after being put through hell. Sharon muses that they're safe now, but that doesn't mean this is over emotionally for their loved ones. Or them. Nick put us together for a reason. Phyllis says Nick has to fix things. That's how he is. They should actually be analyzing him. Sharon says for now, they need to talk about what happened between them in the clinic. So who wants to start? Phyllis says the part that freaks her out the most is that whoever did it know them, or knows about their history. It's not just a kidnapping or potential murder. It was figure out how you're going to survive with your worst enemy. Sharon balks, and Phyllis tells her they have to be real. Sharon agrees. The tension, anger, and resentment between them has become a lot at times. Phyllis clarifies they've hated each other at times. Sharon can't disagree. She rhymes off some info about the brain and reactions. This time Phyllis balks. Sharon tells her the emotions become part of them. They're always there. Nothing they escape together. Phyllis asks what they are now. Are they BFFs? She has guilt and embarrassment that she still has hatred. I'm not supposed to have those feelings anymore. Sharon volleys. Who says that we're not supposed to have them? Phyllis asks if that's reverse psychology. She came there to be real. Sharon says she's being serious. This is about them, and no one else gets a vote on how they feel about each other now. Phyllis argues that everyone has an opinion. Sharon recaps that they went through something traumatic. It doesn't mean they can't go back to their old lives and feelings. The voice was just doing an experiment. Phyllis muses. We can let the hate live on. Sharon points out they may never find out who did this or why they were selected. She wishes it would just go away. Phyllis asks if she has a therapist's trick for that. Sharon thinks the thoughts and emotions are something they'll have to deal with. Phyllis is having a hard time with that. Her kids are worried about her. I just need a break, that's all. When does that happen? She knows Sharon has been through way tougher things than she has, especially the last few years. She's just looking for a chance to breathe. Sharon gets up and tells the redhead they're getting out of there. Let's go. At the ranch, Victor tells Lily he did some further digging into the background of Damien Kane and his relationship with Aristotle Dumas. He notices she seems surprised. Lily suspects he has a private agenda about getting information on Damien Kane. Victor muses. You're a smart woman, aren't you? He questions if she's still interested in the information. Lily is. She's just curious why he's still digging into someone he claims he has no interest in. He says he and Nikki want to heal the rift. Lily's sure she's not getting the whole story. If there's something in this for him, she'd like to know about it. Victor wants to cut to the chase. He has information. Is she interested in it or not? Lily wants to hear what he has to say. Victor warns her not to do business with Damien Kane. He owns nothing, and is nothing, but a front for Aristotle Dumas. The mogul set up a shell company for Kane to make it look like he owns a business. But he owns zero. Why asks? Why go to all that trouble? Victor suspects that Dumas told Kane to insinuate himself into the Winters family, because Dumas is interested in her family's company, Winters Incorporated. At Billy's place, Sally suggests Billy put Aristotle Dumas out of his misery. Billy wants to eat first. She asks why his name sounds familiar. Billy says he's an ultra-private business mogul out of D.C., Sally nods. She worked for an associate of his once. Thinking, she asks why he's calling Billy. He asks if she doesn't think a multi-billionaire would be in contact with little old him. He teases that maybe he's after his credit card, or maybe he is Aristotle Dumas. Sally has never heard him mention this contact before. Why are you not telling me how you know him? He's dodging. Billy shrugs that he's interested in Avid Communications. Sally peppers in with more questions. She thought Jack provided the funding he needed. Billy says the more funding the merrier. He assures her he's still running the show. Sally thinks he's acting weird. I get the feeling you're not telling me the whole story. Sally informs Billy that he has a tell. She knows what he looks like when he's being honest and what he looks like when he wants people to think he's being honest. She asks him to tell her what's up with the billionaire, and then she'll reveal his tell. If he has nothing to hide, he has nothing to fear. Billy didn't want her to find out about it this way,
but he's a pretty big deal. He talks to rich and famous people quite often. Sally questions again if he'll come clean. He's trying to trick her. Billy kisses her and claims he doesn't have a tell. Billy says the reason Mr. Dumas called him wasn't all that exciting. Sally says that's a relief. Billy says his assistant called him a few weeks ago. He just wanted to congratulate him on Abbott Communications. He told him the success was deserved. Then Dumas called him himself. He answered and he said he knew he got screwed over by Victor when he snaked Chancellor from him. He also thought his mother was treating him unfairly. Billy found it wild he knew what was going on and that he was on his side. Sally muses, that must have been massive vindication. Billy confirms, it sure as hell was. In the park, Sharon tells Phyllis, you said you needed to breathe, so go ahead. Phyllis does, and then tells Sharon she's not the end-all be-all enemy for her. She never was. That position is held by a certain insect, which shall remain nameless. And don't even get me started about Diane. Sharon says her animosity against Christine goes way back, but with her, it's more immediate and personal. She thinks the term worst enemy is fair. The wounds are deep. Phyllis purses her lips and shakes her head. You've got to love Nick for making us do this. All the hate started because of him. Sharon thinks that's why he did it. He knows his role in this and is starting to feel the weight of it. Their kids are half-siblings, and they've been stepmothers to each other's children. Phyllis quips, we're one big scratchy family. Sharon thinks it's sad that they have so many loved ones in common, but can't stand each other. They consider whether they should go back to how things were before the kidnapping. Sharon tells Phyllis she thinks things could be different between them now. When she fought cancer, Phyllis was there for her. Life is too short. They could put all that energy into their kids or work, or anything that isn't as corrosive. Phyllis notes their kids would like that. Sharon is ready for her life to be less chaotic and painful, and that includes letting of hate. Phyllis nods. I like my hatred. It's my hatred. Sharon's sure she can hold on to some other grudges. Phyllis is never going to be that person who loves everybody. Sharon rolls her eyes. Heaven forbid. Phyllis is willing to leave their past on the clinic floor and move on. What do we do? Sharon thinks agreeing to try is a good start. Phyllis nods. What next? Sharon has no idea. Phyllis laughs at them being able to save each other from a madman, but not knowing how to coexist. They're quite the pair. At Billy's house, he tells Sally that he and his mother let each other down. Victor always makes him feel worthless, but this time they both went too far. He won't dwell on it because he has a great life. That's what he'll focus on. Sally asks if Dumas plans to invest. Billy says he told him he would keep an eye on things and the lines of communication is open if he needs anything. It felt good. Sally asks why he didn't mention it before. Billy shrugs. All this stuff with Phyllis and everything else. Sally's happy for him. He will be very successful. Billy appreciates her being his biggest cheerleader. Sally chants, "Go team."
Sally's curious about one thing, though. If Dumas was just being polite, why is he blowing up his phone after hours? Billy claims he has no idea. Sally says, try again. Billy shrugs that maybe he has an offer for him. Sally thinks it must be something big and all in his favor, not Billy's. No one became a billionaire through self-sacrifice. Billy coos about her looking out for him. He likes it. Sally doesn't think he should trust Dumas. Billy doesn't trust anyone but her. He thanks her for talking about this. But we don't always have to talk, you know. They kiss. At the ranch, Lily asks why Winters would be on Dumas' radar at all. Victor says he sent information on her and her brother to Damien Kane. Lily thinks that makes sense given they reached out to him out of the blue. Victor says, except Dumas sent this information to Damien Kane 3 months ago. Lily meets with Devin at Crimson Lakes and updates her that he heard from Nate. Amy's first treatment went well, and he and Damien are on their way back with her. Lily is relieved to hear this, and tells her brother they were right to be suspicious about Damien. He cannot be trusted. She tells Devin that Damien knew about them before he came to town. He was pretending not to know anything about them or Winters. Dumas gave him information months before he came to town. I just found out from Victor. Devin guesses that means he knew about his connection to Nate and Amy's condition as well. Lily doesn't know. The whole thing is very sketchy and deceitful. Devin says it sounds like Nate's brother has been playing him and them the whole time. At Society, Phyllis says to Sharon, "We're making the rounds, aren't we?" They toast with their cocktails. Sharon tells her they don't have to force this. Phyllis assures her she's good and asks, "Have you been able to sleep? I mean, without nightmares?" Sharon hasn't. Neither has Phyllis. "I still feel terrorized." She keeps seeing what happened to them, like shattered glass of images. All she dreams about are the emotions she felt in the clinic. What sticks out is what she didn't say to her kids and all the time she wasted. Sharon understands. That makes Phyllis feel better. She wouldn't wish this on her worst enemy, but she doesn't feel alone. Sharon says it's like you come through all of your past mistakes as if they all led up to that moment. Phyllis nods. It's easy to go through life not dealing with things. "We made it out alive, but I just feel stuck." Sharon tells her they have to move on, and it has to be like it was in the clinic. Together, Phyllis wonders how they'll do it. Sharon quips, "We could always try couples therapy." They clink their glasses again and drink. Phyllis decides she can't give up that much of her brain power to hate anymore. Sharon asks if she means toward her. Phyllis hates that the psycho that locked them up will think they were right now. She asks if Sharon is ready to give up the hate too. Sharon says yes. She wants to get past it. Phyllis asks how they go about it. Sharon thinks they'll make it up as they go along. They agree, baby steps, and toast again. At Billy's place, he comes out of the bedroom in his robe and picks up his phone. He dials and says, "Hey, how are you doing? I just wanted to return your call." He assures the person, presumably Dumas, that everything is on track for the launch. And as far as the quid pro quo we discussed, I've got the quid, if you've got the quo. Next on The Young and the Restless, Nikki and Jack share a difference of opinion. Kyle and Claire break the rules, and Sharon helps Tracy connect the dots about Ellen.